And that brings us to the flyweight main event now between Manel Kape, who comes in at minus 160. He goes up against Kyoji Horiguchi, who comes in at plus 140. Now, Manel Kape is on a nasty tear right now, 3-0 since that very underwhelming grudge match that he had against Mohamed Mokaev. Again, remember all the bad blood going into that fight, and then it just was an absolute snoozer as neither guy wanted to make a mistake. So it was Mokaev that was able to get off on a little bit more damage to edge that fight out and win that decision. But then Kape has come roaring back. Pieces up Bruno Silva, finishes him in the third round. Stops the takedowns of Asu Almabayev, pieces him up, finishes him in the third round, and then goes out there in December and makes a statement against Brandon Royval, knocking out Royval in the first round. This is the type of Kape I was expecting when he first made his UFC debut back in whatever it was, 2022, 2020, I think it was. What was it? His last three losses were in 2019 to 2022, so I believe it was 2022 that he got into the UFC. But again, he seemed muzzled, right? This was a guy that I would say was way too gun-shy back in the day, not trusting his hands enough. But it seems like now he's kind of just broken loose of those chains and now letting go with his striking a little bit more, and it's paying dividends, right? The guy has nasty power, especially down at flyweight, which is not something you often see. He's a fun fighter. He has the personality as well, and a very entertaining style, especially for the lowest weight class in the men's divisions here in the UFC. If he can continue to work on that grappling defense, if he can continue to keep fights standing, he's going to be an absolute threat against almost anybody that he goes up against. Unfortunately for him, he's going up against a guy that's already gotten a win over him in Kyoji Horiguchi. Now, Horiguchi, when he first got released from the UFC, it was kind of surprising. He was 7-1 with his only loss coming against Demetrius Johnson. He went on a 3-fight winning streak after that, and then he ended up getting released from the promotion. He joined Rizin, but also fought for Bellator a few times, and he would go on a 16-3 run, which also included that win over Manel Kape, who he faces again this weekend. When he rejoined the UFC, he was brought in against Tagir Ulanbekov and found himself as a plus 170 underdog, and he beat the shit out of Ulanbekov. Let's be honest. He torched the lead leg of Ulanbekov numerous times. There was a few times where Ulanbekov eventually just kind of flopped to his back because he didn't want to have to strike with Horiguchi anymore, and that's when Horiguchi wrapped up the submission and forced a tap from the Dagestani fighter. Then in February, he took on the 17-2 Amir Albazi and outstruck him 73-16 while defending all 7 takedown attempts. I know he's 35 years old, but it looks like he is, in the best shape and form of his career. His striking still looks very crisp. His grappling looks very high level. It looks elite. He's very well-rounded. He has a very good karate style of striking where he darts into the pocket, lands his combinations, and gets out before he has to eat too much damage of his own. I believe his last loss was that one against Sergio Pettis where he was touching Pettis up, and I believe he out-grappled Pettis for the most part, and then he ended up slipping up and getting caught with a spinning back elbow or back fist. I think it was a back fist in the fourth round of that fight. But luckily, Horiguchi was able to exact his revenge in the rematch as he was able to beat Sergio Pettis 4 fights ago. He's so good. Now, let's talk about the last time these two saw each other, which was back in December of 2017 under the Rizin promotion. That was a fun fight, but it was largely dictated by Horiguchi's counters and then his grappling, which eventually got him that arm triangle choke in the final round of that fight. Horiguchi was so on point, countering the offense of Kape. He seemed to be so much faster than him. He wobbled him a few times. He really busted up the face of Kape. And it seems like he could potentially do the same thing again this weekend. Since that fight, Kape is 11-5, while Horiguchi is 14-3. I feel like Horiguchi, again, looking like the best version of himself, can come into this fight and spoil Kape's plans of trying to get to a title fight. And I think we'll see Horiguchi touch up Kape once again, and I think he even comes through with a finish. I'm going to go Horiguchi and Horiguchi by submission. I do like the plus money on the under 4.5 because it's possible Kape can catch Horiguchi with something as well. Let's not overlook that possibility. But I really like the Japanese fighter here to go out there and avoid the power striking of Kape, counter it effectively the way we've seen him do in numerous fights. And I think we see Horiguchi pull off the upset in the main event. And hopefully, after Pantoja fights Van, hopefully we get Horiguchi next to fight for the title. But again, official prediction here will be Horiguchi. I'm going to go Horiguchi by submission.